Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be watching episodes 6 and 7 of Haibane Renmei, and we're very excited to be continuing our Haibane Renmei journey with another couple. Can't wait, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to feel relaxed again, which is good. Again, that being the general takeaway from the episodes thus far. Very relaxing, I would argue. Again, that mystery is still percolating in the background, I would say, with whatever the hell is going on here, and there's little clues here and there about a lot of stuff. I really liked last week. I thought those two episodes were really fantastic. Episode 5 probably being the best episode of the show thus far. That really fantastic story between Nemu and Sumika and that whole kind of thing going on there. Creation, newborns, parent-child bonds between Haibane and humans. This kind of explored in that grand fable at the end of episode 5 as well. Kind of that storytelling thing coming together, almost Raka wanting to give back to the community in a way, and this being her first creation in that way. So she's been created, she's been born again, now she's creating a piece of art, a story for other people to consume, and as a bit of a thank you for everything that's going on. So yeah, lots of good stuff. I'm kind of padding because there's no YouTube comments. Again, I thought last week was really good, so I was kind of keen for some comments, but no harm, no foul, I guess. I'll just move on to the Patreon shout-out and we can get into those two episodes. Actually, before I do that, I should clarify a few things. So going forward on the channel, I've basically started a new job, kind of. I became important at work. I got promoted, essentially, which is good. I mean, money. But also, it's going to become harder to record things to the point where I'm probably going to do a mass recording session. Today's Friday. I'm also expecting to record Monogatari later today as well. So, in the future, obviously, that's why I'll be wearing the same clothes the entire video and that kind of thing, and may get a little bit tired towards those ending videos. We'll see how we go. Either way, Patreon, let's do that. Of course, you can access the Patreon in the description below. Get 1 week ahead on those videos if you're really loving Haibane Renmei at the moment. Also, along with that, you can kind of become a Patreon to get better voting rights in upcoming polls. I'm going to be replacing Apothecary Diaries next week with a poll. So if you wanted extra votes there, you could pay me $6 a month. Many people have done this, up to and including Mickey Babbers, Trials++, Bobbin, Turbo Ribby, Domobot, Ichu, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fleur Nightingale, Fried Rice, Fruit, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Greybeard, Gus N, Heath, Ika, Yako Yavnen, Joran, Kelvin, Kimskell, Clem, Nosta, Cot Begemot, Lou, Mistake El Chen, Nailu, Parnik, Pencil Sharp 333, Ronlad B&K, Saint Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Vueko, Without a Net, Zan Echo, Yuki Ali, Zach, Binchy, Hans Peter, Marsh, Voodoo Chili, and Funny Fat Guy. Thank you all for money and stuff and support and everything. Thank you. So yeah, Haibane Renmei, as I described before, pretty episodic show, so I'm not sure there's going to be that much of a jumping off point for what's coming up next. I guess we've generally set up a little bit of a mystery around Reki and what happened before. Used to be a little bit wilder, a little bit of a delinquent, of course, as well as Abandoned Factory. We're going to see what's going on over there, probably at some point. Different Haibane, maybe, again, seeing this different group will open things up for us a little bit more. I'm unsure if we're going to follow the structure with another character of going to their job again. If we were, I think the only one we haven't done really is Ku, even though Ku's got a little bit of development elsewhere in the story already. Either way, keen to jump in, so let's just do just that. Yeah, episode 6 of Haibane Renmei coming right up. Hello, I am White, and I am watching Haibane Renmei here today with a time code of 24 minutes and 18 seconds. Yeah, so I'm using is basically the DVD copy of the show. Tesseract authored it on Nya if you wanted to specifically look up that version. If not, there's a picture-in-picture version in the description below, which, yeah, you can access at your leisure. If not, I'm going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. And we're back. And we're back. Really growing on the soundtrack of this show for sure. I'm instantly put in a good mood, which is great. I was just having a discussion in the Discord I'm probably thinking about maybe maintaining this slot on the channel as older shows. So, again, keep them classic recommendations coming through that Discord channel. That'd be great. And yeah, probably keeping Apothecary Diaries for, or that slot for a bit newer stuff, that kind of thing. So again, if you see something coming out or has come out recently that you think would be good for the channel, you can recommend it there as well. Again, just shilling through the opening as you do. Finally, Little Plant. End of summer, rain, loss. Okay. Maybe a little bit of a sadder episode. We'll see. What is that? Checking rooms? Yeah, literally. Okay. Oh yeah, what about the possibility of a new Haibane? Holy fuck. Okay, cool. Well, you didn't even check it. Just some shit fell down. I guess it's uninhabitable if that's what you're checking. Don't get sick. Can Haibane even get sick? Well, if it's the end of summer, then that means it's getting colder, of course. You may need some different clothes again. I asked you first. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, a gift? Let's go. Well, that's what happens. The seasons change. I like her hair. Makes me smile. Yeah, insightful, Ku. Thank you. Oh, so this becomes a communal space? Oh, Ku's loving that. Is Ku gonna fucking die? What's going on? What? The halo? What's going on there? What's Ku doing? We will see. Loss was in the episode title, of course. What the fuck? Oh, yeah, you did. Of course. Kana, of course. That's great. But what about Ku? I'm still worried. Yeah, it's fucking annoying. We're over it. I'm happy you accomplished your goal, though. Well, can you go kill it? So you didn't actually... Yeah. Exactly. If it goes all day, well, go stop the test then. Okay. What about the pancakes? Come on, head in the game. The important things in life. Thank you. I'm waiting. Yeah, okay. Seems pretty robust. It's a step forward, for sure. Finally gave up. Oh, okay. What? So Ku wants to grow up, obviously, buying bigger clothes. Oh my god. Yeah, don't wear somebody else's glasses. You're a moron. Yeah, I'm seeing something here about satisfying somebody's condition and something happening. Because that halo was definitely like fading out, right? What the fuck? Ku's recommendation, did that say? I think it did. The hell? Dark Souls dungeon. Oh, this is nice. I was about to say the same thing. Okay. I thought it looked very similar. I wanted to sound smart. I should have just said it. Oh, okay. I guess Ku isn't fucking dead then. Oh, so we can eat together? Reki's always mad. It's fine. What the? There's a swarm? A swarm of locusts is attacking? Bad omens, of course. Yeah, that's definitely fading out. Thoughts? Thoughts? What? Uh huh. Ugh. Is it a glass half full or a glass half empty? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, bye, Ku. So I guess I was kind of right. At least we got to say something like a goodbye. We'll see. Again, I wasn't born yesterday. I'm reading the omens. Doesn't look good for Ku. And those ad breaks there are strange still. The Lord's Day. Maybe Ku? What? Yeah, okay. Alright, I see what that was about. I don't want anybody else to walk away from me. Mm-hmm. Okay, great question. Not the question I would have asked, but, you know. Is it keeping us in or keeping the outside out? Yeah, that's a bit more to it, I think. The photo negative there was really funny. Okay, whatever we do, don't continue this conversation that would have been fruitful. Yeah, I don't want to see a crow right about now. Stop talking to me, crow. Again, Ranka isn't stupid here. I feel like she knows what's going on. Whoa! What in the planet is that? It's like a Marvel movie from the early 2010s. So did you see that at all? Okay. I think Ku's been beamed back up. I think. Ku is unaccounted for. In the Western Wood, I reckon. I'm certainly restless. The show made me so calm before. I'm very tense. So I'm guessing this has never happened before to them, which is interesting. What is Raka's difference in that regard? Yeah. Hmm. What do you mean powerful? Uh, this is tragic. Okay, what are you guys not telling me? You're right. I haven't. Nope. Oh. What do you know? Yeah, what do you guys know? So maybe this has happened before. Day of flight? Kana's gonna spill the beans. What's in the woods? What's gonna get us? Yeah, a final goodbye would be nice. Raka got one. If we all go together, that should be fine. What? What is this cursed forest? Ah, that's pretty smart. Okay, I like that. Okay, bye. That was pretty smart. I would like to say goodbye, so... Oh, Nemo was smart there. I liked that. What do you know that we don't about these fucking walls? Reki, you're freaking me out. I'm gonna be completely honest. Yeah. Oh. To leave the nest, so to say. The chip in our brains tells us to do it. Oh, really? I really like the bell. The bell tolling here is a great touch. Okay, rain stopped. What the fuck? Stonehenge? Whoa, the zoom. Has the halo been cast aside? Definitely. And no glow. Now, obviously, that's packed with meaning metaphorically, for sure. Leaving heaven, going back down to earth. Yeah, I mean, this is a stakes raiser. I didn't know that this could happen. Oh, and then the tears drops. Cool. Hopefully that bell is still tolling. What is this structure? Elden Ring Temple. Yeah, bro, I'm about to pick up a fucking... what do you call them? They're like your Estus shards. You pick them up in like this kind of place. Sacred Tear? That sounds right. Who the hell are you? Oh no, it's Reki, okay. Thoughts? What do you know? What have you seen? Yeah. Thought so, maybe. Well, that was fantastic. Yeah, obviously this was the episode where shit got a little bit more real. We lost a character, ladies and gentlemen. The vibes were there very early in the episode for this kind of thing happening. Again, in that regard, I kind of wish we didn't have that title card as well. It would have been a little bit more of a surprise. Because again, when you're writing end of summer, loss, and whatever else was on there, something bad's going to happen generally. Yeah. Reki very interesting in this regard, I would say. Raka's role in this is very interesting in that regard. There's a few things I really like in the episode. So we've kind of had the thing with Kana set up with the bell, where that's like Kana's overall goal, right? To make the bell work and make it work properly, right? But overall, it works too well, and it results in something bad ultimately happening. That sound resonating the whole entire time, right? That kind of mirrors the coup situation, right? I went too far without knowing it, right? And there was irreversible consequences. And again, obviously, bell tolling, somebody dying. Not exactly rocket science there as well. But yeah, I'm interested to see the characters talk about what just happened, I guess. Maybe they will. I don't know. Bit more backstory, potentially. So yeah, we'll roll straight into episode 7 now as well. But yeah, very, very different episode for sure. Yeah, let me get episode 7 up right now. Rightio, episode 7 up there ready to go. 24 minutes and 6 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. It's just the DVD version as I've been describing before. What else do I normally say? Picture in picture in the description below, of course. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Rightio, 3, 2, 1, go. Also, yeah, there was no blinding light there because of no opening, which is fair enough. Can't sleep. A little bit. I like the window there and the kind of light shining through. Why are their coats so cool looking? Yeah, but no. Raka has a little bit more weight to this. Raka feels personally responsible. Okay. What an interesting thing to say. Rip. Well, kind of rip. It's dying, I would say. Ku is dead. It's weird. It's all very peaceful, though. And again, what very heavily coded, this is the afterlife, right? So what is... And what will be before this, then, even? Is this a process of rebirth? What is the role of the Haibane Renmei and the toga in this? What is outside the wall? All those questions still remain, too. What is the purpose? I mean, now the implication is that everybody's going to be dropping like flies. Scar, illness, arrival of winter. Very happy-go-lucky again, good. Ooh, a little bit of charcoal. Yeah, just couching it for now, which is fair enough. Got to sleep somewhere. Look at these two freaks. Yeah, they're just going about as usual. But you're hella depressed. That's always the best way to solve depression, suppressing it. Always works wonders. Just bottle it all up. Yeah, can we help Raka? This is depressing. Oh god, I hate scenes like this, man. I'll talk about it. I'll talk about the reason why. Finally, blinding light. Who are these little frog freaks? Not Raka and Ku on the rock together? No! Why? Why so depressing, show? Yeah, what is this? What is the charcoal? Bit of stainage on the old wing there. It's like me when I'm going to start finding grey hairs soon. That's what it feels like. Booming out of control. Can somebody help my good friend Raka? I see you a lot. What boy? Boy? Oh, okay, fair enough. I did too. Disappeared. Okay, so the humans know about it. How many pages do you have left? Are you hella poor? You gotta start working. Also, thank you, Cafe Guy. Very nice. It's just the way society is. Everybody just knows it, I guess. Finally, skateboard. Oh yeah, it's this guy. Starts with a H, I reckon, his name. I most certainly do. No, we don't. It's an abandoned factory. You didn't know? That's it. Oh. Hyoko. My favorite Kyoto animation show. I did. I know all about that. What? What do you mean? Oh, was it her that disappeared? Okay. Yeah, I agree. He was a little bit heartless. This guy seems like he kind of sucks. But it's okay. He's allowed to. Stop. Why are they're piling it on? I'm depressed enough, show. You don't need to keep doing it. Finally, Crow. We must remember all those early scenes with Ku and the crows as well. Wanting to be able to fly, floating away. You're an idiot. I got spaghetti in the fridge. Yo, that just reminded me. Let's go. She doesn't want to get close to you again in case you guys disappear. I know, it's depressing as. But maybe we should do something about it. Maybe we can assist in doing so. Put an arm around her. Any of those normal friend type things. Okay, what was the idea, Hikari? Ugh. Change into dark mode. What are you looking at the scissors for? Please just use the spoon. I don't want to see you using the scissors. Not for nothing. What has happened? Please check on Raka. Please. Oh, you're sewing. Okay, good. I thought you were gonna... Maybe? I thought you were gonna cut something. We're making clothes for the orphans? I can't sew either, so lay off Kana. Yeah? Hello? Oh. Cute. You could give it a go. Methodical. Reki? That would make me even more depressed. That doesn't matter. No. What is happening? Charcoal feathers. What is happening? Leave it to Reki. She'll sort it out. Yeah. Yeah, but what does any of it mean? Love the shot, by the way. That one too. It's got dark pretty quick. Good. I don't know. I'd love some clarification, if I'm honest. Okay, this shit's hella depressing. Fuck me. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Uh, uh, uh but what do you mean? Well, yeah, from the outside world. Whoa. Holy. Am I hella sinbound? Is that why you're still here? Well, why are they white now? Yeah, who the hell's Kuramori? Somebody who is since gone. Oh, Glasses Chan. Hell yeah. Okay. Okay, does she predate you then? And? And then this links into the stuff where she left. I think so, yeah. Hmm. Oh, really? What do you mean punished? I don't know. Of course, I remember now the nightmares. hence the name. Whoa. Hence a nightmare, but you can't remember what the scare is even. Okay, that was a little bit of knowledge. That was good. Oh, and the wing covers. Who's sorry? Well, now we know why Breki has been the way she has been too. Do you want to now know the truth? To pursue the truth? Yeah. Maybe. Maybe this is the grand motivator to figure out why this paradise exists, for what purpose, and why bad things still happen here. What is it all in service of? I don't know. Again, I think this will work as the motivator for Raka to try to figure these things out and lead to us, the audience, naturally uncovering the mystery along the way as well. Remember when I said the show was comfy? Not anymore. Not anymore. Yeah, this bummed me out, these 2 episodes. I'm going to be completely honest. Great, sure, wonderful. Just what I wanted. Anyway, it was very good though. I thought particularly they were very well made episodes. I felt they passed quite easily, which generally talks to good pacing and direction. I was intrigued the entire time. Is that wing new as well, maybe? And I'm still fully intrigued to see what the hell is even going on. Yeah, I mean, not much else to say there. I need to go, like, watch some K-On! Or something. Or, something else to cheer me up. Anyway, we'll return shortly and talk about those 2 episodes in a little bit more detail. So, 2 more episodes of Haibane Renmei in the books, and yeah, bit of a sucker punch, I would say. Definitely expected, though. We've kind of, I mean, it's in a very visual novel sense. We've kind of set up our characters, gotten established, had a few things, few hints here and there that there might be something more going on, and this is when that shoe finally dropped, right? That, the stakes were raised, we found out a little bit more about what was going on, and I guess the show has a little bit more direction now as to what we're even trying to figure out and what just a little bit more weirdness to, I guess, drag us along. Not to go full spoilers here, but Steins Gate is very similarly structured, I find. Of course, there is intrigue in the first half of Steins Gate, but again, if you're familiar with that story, there is a stakes raiser right there in the middle of the story. This feels very similar in that regard. It feels like, oh shit, now we're really depressed. Now we're going to try to find out what the fuck is even going on, because this thing's way bigger than we thought. I think this thing would kind of own as a visual novel, actually. Just kind of the general tone, the music, the art. I feel like it would excel in that medium. Anyway, I digress. Obviously, this came out like 22 years ago or something, so that's not going to occur. Why am I even talking? Okay, this is why I've got this up. End of summer, rain, loss. These things indicate change, bad omens, something bad happening. It was a pretty good indicator that something bad was about to happen, right? Again, from this first screen here and from the early portions of the episode, I'm like, Ku's in trouble here. Ku's in trouble. Especially, again, we see that kind of halo start to fade out, and I'm like, yeah, Ku's in trouble. And yeah, Ku was indeed in trouble. And again, that spun off into more of a Raka thing than anything else. It's Raka's... It's a kind of confluence of emotions, I would say, where Raka feels somewhat responsible for this, considering Ku's almost final lines there. You've put a few more drops in my cup, right? I feel like I was the thing that pushed Ku over the edge and caused this to happen to them, right? But I can't, I can't tell anybody that because I'll sound weird and strange and stuff. And also, I don't want to believe it myself, so why would I admit it to somebody else, right? On top of that, this is a world that you don't understand. You don't understand that the kind of idea of a day of light, I believe it was called, where everybody else in the world is aware of that could be something that happens. As a result, they're able to take the loss a little bit better. So essentially, somebody has shockingly passed away. You feel somewhat responsible, and now that guilt is manifesting almost as a disease externally on your body, to the point where you don't want to show anybody because it feels like you're broken or sick in this regard, right? Everybody else was able to move on. Why am I not able to move on? Why is this change happening to my body? Yeah, depressing for Raka, for sure. And again, even by the very end of it, I don't think Reki gives us much reprieve there. Reki just kind of clarifies a few things and on some level even makes us even more depressed. It's just, I don't know, yeah. Bad episode for Raka. Very bad. Let's go back through here. I can talk about a few things that I liked. I have a particular anecdote that I want to get at for the second episode here today as well. But yeah, I think the best way to start the video is to start the video. We start the episode here in a very methodical way. There is a fade up from the darkness to the light, and then Raka is inside checking some rooms for a new place to live, right? Essentially, she wants to make her room at the moment a common room, right? So she can spend time with her friends instead of just kind of hogging in and getting lazy and sitting in there all day. Hence, she's on the hunt for a new room. Now, I don't want to blow my load too early, for lack of a better term, but yeah, the idea of her looking for a new room, obviously, and not kind of having that bed and then Ku leaving at the same time isn't a coincidence in the writing department. It almost feels like one bird has left the nest so another can fully settle in. Definitely something in that regard, I would argue. The sky is a pretty definite motif through this episode. We have Raka here sneezing before looking up at the sky, some clouds starting to roll in. Again, the storm will only worsen as the situation worsens in the episode. Again, pathetic fallacy, I don't need to keep talking about it. The other thing here is that it's the end of summer, right? When it's a transition point, it's moving into the cold. These kind of summer holiday-esque vibes to the whole show, right? Where everyone's just kind of vibing. It's coming to an end. Like, we have to get back to school, we have to get back studying, we have to do all this other stuff, right? You could also imply here that Raka was born in spring, and we're kind of following that life cycle of an animal through the seasons as well, maybe moving into a little bit more hibernation as winter settles as well. Again, hiding ourselves, hiding our wings, rugging up, all this other stuff. Even Ku this episode just then was kind of just spacing out and looking over to the sky. I wonder if there was even some indicator to you very early in this episode that today was your day. So again, it's pretty easy to look at the show and think about cause and effect, I would say. So is this scene with Raka here, with Ku, the like boil over point, the point where the water kind of tips over the cup and where you need to do what you need to do, in that way kind of ultimately fulfilling even the visual novel route, right? I've overly fulfilled your emotional requirements for this particular instance of yourself, thus you're now going away. I've crossed the precipice that we can no longer go back from, right? Again, summer into winter. If we take that as the truth, right, that Raka being particularly nice in this scene to Ku was the thing that ultimately made Ku go away, it would justify Raka's actions in the second episode, right? Where she no longer wants to associate with anybody in the kind of fear that she'll get too close and then push them over that precipice once again and cause them to leave. Particularly here, you wanted a little sister type, you wanted to be the senpai. Raka here calls you senpai. Again, is this satisfying something for you? And this is our first indicator, of course. Ku goes to leave this room right here, right now. We see that halo start to fade somewhat. Yeah, just there, even the double take there in the animation. And again, we think nothing of it early, but now knowing what we know, this was the first indicator that the day of light had come. This is the first instance of the bell tolling as well. Again, I don't need to look up what a bell tolling means, you know that. Again, funerals ringing out repeatedly, of course, there. In that way, it's interesting, right? It's like It's like Ku has passed on from the afterlife even. So this was almost Ku's funeral bell, so to say, right? Again, kind of ironic that it comes from Kana in that way, and Kana almost satisfying her own goal there. But yeah, how does one die from the afterlife? What is outside of the wall in that regard? Again, I know this isn't literally the afterlife. It's probably something else going on here, but it's certainly coded as it, for sure. So again, where's Ku now? That is a question. It makes the general annoyance here at the bell continuing to toll a little bit ironic by the very end of the episode, as the bell tolling becomes handy in kind of guiding us back from the Western Wood, as well as, we have bigger fish to fry than being annoyed at the sound of a bell. One of our fucking friends died. I do enjoy Kana. Kana's just fucking stupid, and I can kind of rock with that. Like, oh, I thought you guys were happy for me that I fixed it. No, I don't want the bell to continuously toll, especially on a Sunday. There's also, of course, that connection. We say it twice in the episode that it is Sunday, the Lord's Day, Day of Prayer, all that kind of stuff, linking it into, I guess, some of the general Christian iconography in the show, I would say, with the halos and the angels and stuff. Again, there's just a lot of little stuff in the episode. Even this kind of, again, Press's point, you can't really say it there. Thanks, VLC. There's a switch here that is pulled from one to the other. There's an irreversible shutting off. Again, another precipice point in the episode that is crossed, right? A change that has happened. Something being turned off, you can make the connections there. This is another indicator too. Kana recognizes the new coat that Raka is wearing, saying that it's Ku's. She gave it to you, huh? She's finally given up, I guess. So essentially, I think Ku bought this coat way back in the day because she wanted to be perceived as older than she was, right? Again, she has a complex about that. We see that from the very first episode with the I want a little sister so I can feel like I'm old enough, so I can feel like I'm enough, so I can fit in with everybody else. I'm no longer the youngest. Again, all that normal stuff. But again, if she's given up this desire and given it over to you, then it's another indicator that potentially Ku is moved on to other stuff now. There's other priorities for Ku now. We have a fun little montage here of Ku, again, trying to be like everybody else, right? She rode Reki's scooter for a little bit and crashed it. She wore Hikari's glasses here, but fell down the stairs and got all dizzy. She's just a little kid, but again, she's grown up in her own way. But again, the main thing here is like wanting to be perceived as older. Again, there's that condition there that I think Raka accidentally satisfies, which I think is the point in which this occurs. And again, you don't want to go around and satisfy anybody else's condition again, I don't think. This was a setup from before. Ku took a look at the little map that Raka was making and put a little note on here. Ku's recommendation is to go to this room right here. Go check it out, see what goes on. And yeah, as soon as I saw kind of this hallway and this bookcase, I'm like, this seems like the first episode. And lo and behold, it is. This is where Raka was born. That is the location where Ku is sending us. Raka enters the room and instantly feels like she's been there before. Instantly feels a little bit more like home to her. And Ku ambushes Raka here. Oh my god. Yeah, this is the room where you were born. This is the room where the cocoon was. We said we were going to clean it up, but us, the audience, never got to see back inside again, right? This brings us back to where Ku's condition even began, right? When that cocoon is in this room, one of the first lines we hear Ku say in the show is that how she wants it to be a little sister, right? Again, bringing us back to the beginning, bringing us back to when these characters both first met, and yeah, kind of works kind of circularly there as a final goodbye from Ku to Raka and by extension everybody else. There seems to be a really specific thing in the show as well with memories, and memories being tied to things, right? We'll talk about Sinbound later on and what that all means, and kind of the lack of memories from Reki and what I'm kind of thinking about there, what's kind of jogging along in the mind. But here, you can only kind of remember your birth only a little bit, right? You don't really remember all the specifics. And again, us, the audience, aren't privy to it either. We haven't seen into the room yet. We learn here as well that Ku made the room where Ku was born into Ku's room. And yeah, instantly here we go from laughing about pancakes to like the most ominous dark storm passing over old home that we've ever seen. Specifically this shot too, which I really like. We have the shadow here, kind of Ku going up to the window, the shadow then it kind of fading into nothing, again signifying that halo kind of going dim by the very end of the episode as well. The light is no longer here, I'm no longer casting a shadow, it's almost my time to go here. The tone changes completely here, and I say doesn't let up until, well, still hasn't let up really. gets a bit sad, gets a bit depressing from here. Raka here notices that Halo's starting to dim again, and then Ku starts. There is a drinking cup in my mind. A pretty clear cup, and tiny drops keep falling into it. Now again, I've talked about kind of this cup overflowing and that being that precipice point that we cross and, the point of no return, all that kind of stuff. The water in the cup as well is also very specific, right? Specifically, I'm thinking the general rain motif of the episode falling into the cup as well, causing it to overflow and, the storm signifying my exit and all these other things. I'm also thinking about the tears from Raka as well that are causing this to happen too, which is something we fall upon at the very end of the episode once we learn what has happened to Ku. What I'm reading this as is I became contented, right? I became completely full and you were responsible for that, or at least somewhat responsible for that. In that way, something has changed in your mind almost. You're happy to go. It's a happy exit for you. It's not like your life has been taken from you early. You fully accepted it and you're ready to go. That's what makes this thing bittersweet, right? I don't think... It's not as tragic as we think. There's acceptance here from Ku. And again, looking in the eye, thanking her, and then dropping the hand. Never to touch Ku's hand, not once ever again. And then Ku just fucking legs it. Later. Goodbye, Ku. The soundtrack there doing a lot of the heavy lifting too, and leaving kind of Raka with her own thoughts to conclude the scene. Reki's acting like everything's normal, whilst Raka is already nervous about everything else that's going on. Ku said some weird shit. Have you seen Ku lately? Has Ku been back here? We'll notice as well that we packed Ku a lunch, and she also took off with her drinking bottle. So, I don't know. She's probably off on some kind of journey. The other thing here is the mystery of the cleaned kitchen. Ku kind of cleaning up that kitchen is almost a final thank you to Reki, especially for the meal that Ku has now taken and never to be seen again. So again, a final thank you, a final, I don't need anything else from you. I'm going to do this final favor before making my way. There's this scene as well, which I really like. So Reki disappears into the kitchen to get some tea for Raka, and Raka really doesn't like that. Calls back out to Reki. Reki re-emerges. It's like, oh, well, it's nothing. Never mind. I don't want any more characters based on how nervous I am right now to leave my presence, because I think something bad's about to happen, and Raka is 100% right. Early in this conversation, Reki is just entirely on the wrong track. Oh, you're just feeling nervous about changing rooms. No, I mean, she can't know unless you tell her as well, but it's obviously way more serious than that for Raka. She starts asking some big questions here. Why is this town surrounded by walls? For what purpose? Probably because this is a protected place. Protected from what? Everything that's not good. Again, this is almost like a paradise, right? Some kind of heaven potentially as well. A fallen angel, losing their wings, losing their halo, all that kind of stuff. And again, we're being protected from knowledge as well. Maybe lack of knowledge is also bliss and a paradise within its own right? Like, if I don't know... Ignorance is bliss, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And yeah, just then we get a giant strike of lightning, which, again, causes the conversation there to be derailed. What are we being protected from? We still don't know. This is when the sightings of the crows become a lot more ominous, and again, that genuine symbol of death. Again, it's something that only Raka sees though. This is their own internal struggle. How much of this do I even believe? How much of this is internal? How much of it is external? We don't know. Either way, this causes Raka to run all the way to the hallway, open the window, and look out to try and see Ku. Again, following that crow around, we must remember that conversation which Raka had with Ku back in the day, about the appreciation for the crows. What's the difference between us and the crows? Is it our ability to speak? One day I would really like to fly. All these other things. Again, this is Ku's chance to finally fly as well, floating into the air, again, as that name suggests. I do really adore the sense of mystery in the show as well. We don't overly explain things, we just kind of let moments sit. We're squarely in the kind of shoes of the fish out of water character, in that we're learning about the world along with her, and I really enjoy that. It makes scenes like this really effective. We really don't know what's going on. Again, it's implied to be about Ku, and it's implied to be some kind of end to something, but we don't get all the details, and we still don't, right? You could almost reframe a lot of Reki's actions here as burying her head in the sand. She doesn't want to think about the possibility that this could potentially be a day of light for somebody. Again, it's a situation in the past with your mentor, whose name I'm forgetting, where that was again, one of the most depressing days of your youth. You don't want to think that this could happen again to somebody that you've become close to, right? You even remark on it later in the episode. They always leave me eventually, right? I'm always the one left below. I'm sin-bound, right? I think I am, right? I'm cursed to make relationships with these people only for them to be taken away. Everybody else gets to leave the cage. I'm the one still there in there protected with it. Again, I'm seeing a little bit of denial here from you very early. You don't want to even think about the possibility that this could be happening. After Reki checks on the kids, she comes back up to the room and notices that everybody is here except for Kana and Ku. Kana is accounted for, Ku is not. Bad vibes everywhere. Of course, Raka has the inside word here, knows that Ku's gone somewhere, potentially the Western Wood, and wants to go out and pursue her. Again, if we can't find her here, she's unaccounted for, she's obviously out in the rain, she's probably out in the forest there. Even the dialogue's almost hitting you over the head with how obvious the whole weather thing is this episode, right? When summer turns into winter, the weather is like this, it's really nasty, it puts me in a bad mood. Again, it's meant to signify that. It's the most obvious metaphor of the episode, I would argue. They just pile on the tragedy as well. Hikari's like, I should run a bath in case Ku comes home soaking wet. Little do they know that everybody's going to get wet here in a second when they have to go looking in the forest. Again, I'm really noticing it here. Reki continuing to deny. Thinking about getting her back, and we'll have 2 sick people instead of 1 if you went running after her, right? That's not what I'm concerned about. It's way more serious than that. I think Ku is gone. I don't think Ku went to town. I think she was getting ready in her own way for a journey with the water bottle and the packed lunch. And yeah, a journey to the Western Wood. At that moment, you kind of drop that cigarette out of your mouth as well. Right there. Yeah. And now we know why you're so serious about it, right? Specifically the walls and going to the Western Wood and all that kind of stuff, right? I need to be refreshed on the story again in that regard, but I think something your mentor character went to the Western Wood and was never seen again. Too close to the walls, all that kind of stuff, right? Again, Kana here overhears the word Western Woods, knows what that means. Don't get too close to the walls, all that kind of crap. And yeah, if Ku's gone there, knows it's dangerous, there must be some reason to all of this. And Kana immediately knows, right? If she's going out that direction, then it might mean, and it's like, yeah, you've never been to the Western Woods, right? This could be a day of light type situation. Yeah, the birds went crazy in the Western Wood. I saw a big light coming out of the sky. It can only mean one thing: a day of light has occurred. And again, I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe that Ku may have finally left us, but the Haibane go outside the walls when his or her day of flight comes. Day of flight, not day of light. Anyway, we got there in the end. We made an error, but that's okay. Day of flight. Again, distinctly linking that to the whole crow motif, along with the conversation before where Ku was talking about how cool it would be to fly. And again, it's some of the early stuff in the show as well, flying over the walls, kind of that. And whoever flies over the walls doesn't come back. I distinctly remember that from episode 4. Yeah, crows are good in that regard because they can come back and forth. Whenever somebody exits, they don't come back, right? It's almost like they travel to a different plane almost, right? They're not on the same plane of reality as us. They've moved on. Again, that precipice point past that wall. I'm really following Reki through this. Again, the steady hand here, the one that's seen it all before, but again, you've got that emotional baggage attached to this as much as anybody else. You still don't want to believe it, and you're very somber in your actions. I guess you've run after somebody to the Western Woods before and don't want people to get hurt again. Ultimately, that's what ends up happening, though, just on the off chance that we could see Ku that one more time. This is where the bell tolling comes in as our motif as well. Reki kind of comments that if we go into the woods without a point of reference back out, we could get lost forever. Potentially something that's happened in the past as well. And then we get the idea for the bell. That bell continuously tolling, of course, signifying that passing. And again, just it's nice plot setup payoff stuff as well. We set up the clock tower in an earlier episode as well. We set up the bell tolling very early in this one in a comedic manner, and then it comes back during the conclusion. Very smart. And this entire time, Reki's like, don't go near the walls, don't get lost, blah, blah, blah. Understands how dangerous it is, doesn't want anybody else to leave her the same way that, Ku is leaving us. Again, I'm almost writing off Ku. Okay, it's Ku's day of flight. Whatever, right? I just don't want to lose anybody else because I've lost too many people, and that would be the most tragic thing for me, right? But either way, we all go out in our raincoats and we get a little bit of narration here. The legend goes that there are ancient ruins in the heart of the woods, and that a charcoal feather is led there on his or her day of flight. In that way, they fly over the walls and they leave this place. And yeah, we don't know why this happens. They just leave one day and don't come back. They don't never even tell anybody that they're going to go do it. I guess the closest that we get is Ku heavily implying that they're going to do such a thing. We haven't had a day of flight in years because there was a period of several years where there were no cocoons either. So maybe then we'd forgotten that there may be a day where we would have to say goodbye. And yeah, we make our way to these ruins. Again, we see the wall in the background. Do not get too close, but we see a slight glow here of the halo. Causes Raka to rush over. Music doing a lot of the heavy lifting here too. Very good music. And yeah, feathers left behind implied that wings were potentially shed as well, or wings grew maybe even to fly, becoming a bird, all that kind of stuff. And the halo is gone. I've transitioned from, again, like heaven back to reality. I've shed my halo. In that way, it's curious that the halos are kind of this man-made construct as well. What is causing Haibane to be Haibane, right? Is the halo telling them to do something as well? The halo seems to be significant. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just wondering how this all works. Either way, this is all very tragic, as I commented before on the tears, making that cup overflow once again. I must say, I didn't really expect something like this to occur. In retrospect, it's easy to look back at those first 5 episodes or so and say that a lot of that connection to Ku is leading up to this moment. I just didn't think it would be the kind of show where people, like, die. I don't know. Yeah, so obviously we're building up that close connection between Ku and Raka for a reason. This is the payoff for that. It makes me feel bad. And again, that is the goal. The storm has settled. There is a little bit of light shining through, but it is still an ominous scene. A broken down church, a ruin, a post-apocalypse even. Again, we're all showing our condolences, all concerned for Ku and all that kind of stuff. But over there, distant away from everybody, is Reki. In the end, everybody leaves me, is what she says. And we pan back up to that crescent moon. Something has been taken away. Yeah. Very, very effective episode. That bell still tolling all the way through. So yeah, shoutouts to that. I'm still really depressed. Let's get episode 7 up. This episode here is differently structured. We start without the opening and instead jump into a scene before it. Just a little bit of a diversion. I don't really know the reason for why we do it, but it's cool. I like it. This whole episode, I guess, is characterized by Raka's discomfort at the whole situation. Doesn't have a bed, doesn't feel like she can relax, doesn't feel like she belongs in this kind of place anymore, racked with guilt about the whole Ku situation. Was they even potentially somewhat responsible for it? Isolation, balled up in a ball, in a blanket, just not wanting to talk to anybody about anything. If you've ever experienced depression, or somebody around you that's had depression, it's not dissimilar, for sure. We flash back here a little bit to before, back on the day again, where we see Raka super torn up about everything, I would say. Yeah, again, fair enough. I've gone into the reasons why. And I know everybody here is trying to help, but I don't think they're helping the situation. Again, partially because Raka isn't explaining why she's feeling this way. Again, I think there's an element of guilt to all of this as well. They're just kind of almost saying platitudes, like, I hope this bell guides her as well to the afterlife, whatever that may be. Soon we'll be with her as well. We'll see her again. Death isn't the only goodbye, all that stuff. Yeah, again, it feels like it's not really addressing the problem, which I think Raka is feeling. But again, she's not really communicating, so how can we? All we can do is really put an arm around her and try to make her feel better. As almost an ironic reminder here, the bell is now tolling to wake everybody up, right? Again, kind of like a bell is supposed to, on that kind of dawn of the hour. Wake you up out of bed, that kind of vibe. But again, this only serves as a grim reminder of the tragedy that happened before. We see the first indicator here of the wings going that charcoal color of darkening. Again, I don't know what's going on literally here. I still don't think we really do. We're just kind of helping to dye some of the wings later in the episode. We'll talk about it. But I know what's happening metaphorically here. This dark spot is like the dark spot of almost depression, right? I try to chop it off. I try to amputate, I try to wash it out, I try to do all these things, but this feeling still remains. It's not an easy fix situation, it's something complex within me, that is causing me to feel this way. And again, almost causing me to feel reclusive as well. I don't want to show this to anybody else. I don't want to show the way I'm feeling, the sadness that I'm feeling to anybody else. I want everybody else to think I'm fine. But that's not entirely the truth. Again, I think this is an effective metaphor here and kind of emphasizes this kind of wings motif we've had through the rest of the show as well. It's disheartening here for Raka as well to see that the others have seemingly gotten over it. They're just acting normal, doing normal character stuff, while she's up here feeling really depressed about the whole situation still. We say here, I must not cry. As I said during the reaction, this is always the best tact. Bottle it up. Don't speak to anybody. Don't do therapy. Don't do any of that stuff. Just bottle it up. It'll all be okay. It won't all explode in a, anyway. We won't talk about it, but you know what I mean. This is where we really pile on the depression for me, and this is where my anecdote is. Feels like I'm talking a lot about Clannad lately, and maybe I have mentioned this in the past as well, but there is a scene in Clannad, and it is so quick, right? And it destroys me every single time, right? It's not even a scene, it's like the one I'm thinking about is one shot cutaway in episode 18. If you know, you know, for Clannad After Story as well. Essentially, it's a shot of a character's room, which is impeccably clean, right? Like, it hasn't been used for a while, but it's being maintained as clean. And this is happening again here, and it's the most depressing thing in the world. Seeing somebody's bedroom, again, this kind of space that visually represents them, and it being unused, untouched, like they haven't been here for a while, but we're still kind of preserving it, we're still kind of holding on to that memory, fucking destroys me. It destroys me every time, and the instant that I knew this was happening here, it fucking made me like fall out of the sky and crash into a deep depression. Yeah. And the frogs too, all the frog shit, the hat, all this bro. Yeah, they lay it on thick here. This shit's depressing as fuck. Yeah, just the squeaky clean room, the cleaning of it. Again, it's significant that Raka's here every day. It's part of her routine as well. Continuing to maintain this room, maybe in the grim hope that Ku will one day return as well, but also as kind of like a thank you. I didn't get to thank you for what you meant to me as well, so this is all I can do for you. Trying to make up for something, this room serving as a reminder of something, all sorts of ways you could take this metaphorically that I really do enjoy. I can't even bear the feeling that this room may get dusty and people may forget about you, so I must preserve it so that people don't forget about you, right? It seems like everybody else is okay with this, that they've almost gone through this already, but I can't bear that. I can't bear the fact that my friend is now gone. Talking to herself and talking to Ku in the process, just acting like Ku's still here. This here too, the stuffed animals in the background, god damn it. Oh shit. Ah, fuck. This is terrible. Tries to hold it all together, but can't. I know that Old Home's doing fine, and I'm not doing fine. I'm not doing fine without you. Again, essentially just thinking about all the things that we missed that we could be doing together still, right? All the things that I wanted to do with you, all the things you wanted to do with me, and thinking about that missed opportunity. And that's what hurts the most. As kind of like breaking through here, we see the light shining into the room, right? Which also happens to shine a light on the frogs, and then we get even more depressed. You could even see the light here as a symbol of that day of flight, right? That kind of, almost a symbol of Ku lighting up all the things about Ku, all the things that Ku enjoyed, right? Specifically lighting all these frogs, which represent the characters. Almost like a, I love you from beyond the grave to the rest of the gang here. Specifically here, the frogs set up to the point where Raka is together with Ku. And yeah, we flip that Raka frog on her back. I'm feeling down. I'm not the same as I was. I'm away from Ku. Ku is now elevated as well. I've fallen below. Is this even my curse? I try to wash my hands of it, but I can't. There's so much stuff here. Again, the hand washing here is significant in this regard. I try to, I've gone and cleaned, I've washed my hands, but I still can't shake the feeling. That's what the black spots represent here. Again, I'll talk about it a little bit later as well. I'll probably leave it to somebody a little bit more versed in the subject, but could you read this as maybe kind of a self-harm type thing, maybe? Which is a pretty dark read, but kinda, right? Again, I'll leave it to the professionals in that regard. I don't want to overstep any boundaries. Continuing to fail to cope with the loss here is Raka continuing to eat in town every day. I think the purpose here is twofold. One, you hope to go to the cafe and potentially see Ku again, that against all odds, you'll see this person that you've lost again at this place where they always frequented. That's not going to be the case, but you don't know that. Again, it's a coping mechanism. The other one is I don't want to get too close to anybody else at Old Home. I really appreciate the company and the friends that I've made at Old Home, and me potentially doing something to them, making their cup overflow once again, could cause them to leave me. Therefore, I can't associate with them anymore. I don't want to talk with anybody. The only thing I can do, because I'm destructive, because I'm the problem, is isolate myself. Also, yeah, interesting discussion here. I don't know what's going on with the whole his-her thing with Ku. Let's just say that they're androgynous. I don't know. It's, again, not really particularly important to the plot, I would say. Again, a lot of this is the disconnect as well. Everybody else seems like they're over it. Everybody else seems like it's fine. The humans here even think it's normal. Oh, that's how the Haibane are. They just disappear sometimes, right? Again, he's nice in his own way here, kind of, again, picking up on Raka's general feeling, but Raka just feels more and more isolated. Nobody feels the same way I do about this situation. This, of course, is only exacerbated upon the entry of one, Hyoko, I believe that was his name, who again says an offhanded remark about Ku and is more focused on Reki, which I find, well, Raka finds insulting. Again, soon they'll probably forget that she was even here. He like tosses her aside almost. It's a feel bad and causes Raka to almost explode here. His name is Hyoko, as in Ice Lake as well. Again, my general theory has been more around that's their method of death or something, so Ice Lake has a pretty distinctive bend to it, I would say. Again, this guy just really cares about Reki. He's pretty obvious in that regard, and again, that kind of disregarding of Ku in that regard pisses Raka off. Again, good. The relief that it wasn't Reki. How can you say that it's good? My friend fucking died. You're a cunt, essentially. Yeah, rereading the scene again, I can see how this would be potentially insulting. Not potentially, very insulting. This one here almost feels like overkill. Like, this is just piling on the pain. Again, it's a setup payoff thing for the show, which I really do enjoy, the setting up of these little charms that they flip when they're here and they're not. Somebody has taken away Ku's. Maybe Ku even took it away themselves. Yeah, Ku's not here anymore, and it's continuously slapping us in the face. And again, the crow's always looking. They're always having a peek at old Raka. It's all very interesting. The darkened feathers that are of the crow also reflecting this darkening of the feathers of Raka through this episode as well, I would argue. We see the gang here is generally concerned about Raka now. She hasn't been talking with us lately. She's been isolating herself. Maybe she just wants to be alone, but we see Reki thinking in the background. Maybe I've seen this whole caper before. Maybe it reminds me of myself a little bit more than I'm willing to admit. Again, in the wake of the death of my mentor back in the day, I isolated myself. I went to a whole different other community. I changed myself a lot. I, again, cut myself off from my friends. I can see Raka doing very similar here, and it makes it cathartic to, again, hope to help Raka out of this situation eventually too, maybe. We mentioned here that Raka has been cleaning Ku's room every day. I've been there once, but I hadn't been back again. I didn't know that she'd been there every day. Again, I had my misgivings about the situation, of course, but I quickly got over it. Not the same can be said for Raka. But the gang is still good in this regard. They recognize that, again, Raka's still taking it pretty rough. Therefore, let's help her out of the situation. I know something that can assist. Let's make her some kind of wing covers. Give her a present. Help her feel loved. All that other stuff. We're thinking of you. All that goodness. I like this as well. We've also got a stain on the uniform there that's in the wash, causing my costuming to go from this lighter color to the darker color now as well, again reflecting that change in the wings, again reflecting my mental state. And that's when we start to look at the scissors. The darkness is spreading. I have to cut it off now. Again, just bad vibes from that whole thing. Again, I didn't think the show could do tension like this. I'm happy it's showing a little bit more range in this regard. Hikari comes up to Raka. Raka is obviously using the scissors on her feathers even now. Don't come in. I'll come down when I'm ready. All that kind of stuff. Maybe be intrusive in this regard. If you think something's wrong, then go check. That kind of vibe. There's also an irony here with the sewing going on here and the scissors used in said sewing along with the scissors that are being used on the feathers, right? You could also read into them making wing covers, right? My wings right now for Raka is the external representation of what I'm feeling internally, right? It's darkening. I'm still depressed. It's not going away. All these other things. I feel dirty in that regard. I feel like I've sinned, as we talk about later. Just making her something to cover it up and not fix the inherent base issue is interesting, right? Especially, again, contrast wing covers with the dye that you use later on, right? They're both essentially doing the same thing, but the dye feels a little bit more helpful in that regard. They still retain their view as wings. They still retain some of that stuff. Even if I'm dyeing it away, I'm still fixing the problem more than just covering it up. Yeah, body language here too. The nervousness, the looking away, like not really... She doesn't feel like she belongs here anymore, again wanting to keep that distance, scared of what might happen. Conversation is going well until she needs to spread her wings for a little bit of a measurement and doesn't want to show everybody what she's done. Have them have a better look at the wings. Again, this is when it gets a little bit more real. Reki notices the darkness on the wings and realizes that she needs to do something here. The thing that pushes her over the edge here is that she said that her sofa may be the thing that's doing it, the thing that she's sleeping on at the moment. Oh, well, you don't have a bed, right? You should go take Ku's bed. Again, that's just going to send her over the edge. It's frankly a stupid suggestion. It shows a lack of knowledge of what she's actually going through here. Again, I'm not going to take Ku's bed. I'm maintaining Ku's room. I'm making sure that Ku isn't forgotten. Making sure that everything stays the same, right? If anything changes, then that's a further step towards Ku being forgotten, right? Which is the exact opposite thing that I want to happen. Again, we've seen the episode from Raka's perspective. It's easy to call you stupid, but it's kind of a stupid idea. I think Ku would be happy for you to have it, but again, that darkness continues to spread. You're not being... again, true with your emotions. And then, like, Raka also must be surprised from the other perspective. She just doesn't know what's going on with her body. She's like, am I sick? Am I going to die too? Was this maybe what was happening? Like, am I evil? Am I turning into a crow? She doesn't even know what's happening. Like, there's this element of her body changing and she doesn't fucking know. Again, that's what Reki helps with in this regard too. Again, there's a whole myriad reasons why she would feel the way she's feeling. From here, we enter Raka's room. We see stuff kind of thrown all over the floor. Everything's left kind of disheveled. She's not taking care of herself, and we see kind of these feathers on the ground that have been chopped. In a pretty depressing scene as well, Raka reaches for those scissors once again. She wants to cut loose these black feathers before anybody else can see the problem. She still wants to maintain the facade that everything's okay before breaking down in tears, before Reki is able to grasp those scissors away from her. You don't need those anymore. Stop hurting yourself. I'm going to help you with this. Really emotional scene. Obviously, you've been bottling everything up, must not cry, and then crying upon, again, everything being found out. Really like this scene. Really, really do. It keeps spreading. I don't know what's going on. Am I sick? You're not sick. You haven't done anything wrong. And again, this has significance for Reki too, we must remember. From here, we take Raka to Reki's little studio, something that was set up in a previous episode in somewhere where we weren't able to enter. Again, metaphorically, this was a secret that Reki was hiding. She didn't want to get too close to anybody and didn't want anybody to see that she still really cares about this senpai that was kind of her mentor, right? That she has this picture of them. Again, it represents a part of her heart that she hasn't shown to everybody else. I want to keep it hidden. Again, in trying to make Raka feel better, I'm going to allow her in. Again, works metaphorically, I think. What we're doing with Raka's wings here is using a type of dye, which is from a snow scale tree that is out by the walls, right? Very old tree, very old kind of material that's in those trees, right? Again, you must stay away from the walls, even though these things grow very close to the walls, it's not safe, right? And we learn kind of why during this anecdote too. And hey, Reki, why do you have this medicine? Why do you know such things? It's time for a little bit of backstory, I think. It's time for you to finally be honest and open up in trying to help me. If Raka's not going to open up, then I'm going to show her how to open up, you know? And she kind of stops her applying of the dye. This town exists for Haibane. The walls are there to protect us. A good Haibane lives here happily and goes beyond the walls when their time comes. But once in a while, a Haibane who cannot be blessed by the town is born. A Haibane who cannot remember their dream in the cocoon. The day of flight never comes for such a Haibane. The town becomes a cage which offers no escape. So it could be seen as protection, could be seen as a cage keeping us in. Again, it depends on the perspective there. If you eventually have the idea of freedom eventually, if you're a good Haibane, then it seems pretty cool. But if you're trapped here, like maybe a Reki feels like she is, then yeah, the whole place becomes a bit depressing. Again, I think it goes to show Reki's distance from everybody, right? She feels like she's sin-bound. She feels like she's never going to get out of here, thus she mustn't make any close connections. She just kind of gets by on what she can. We say the word sin-bound here and then show off the crow. I wonder if that means anything. We'll see. This causes Raka to immediately think that she might be sin-bound. that's not the case. I think I'm sinbound. I was there with your cocoon. You kind of remember a little bit of your dream. Well, maybe you don't actually. No, you don't remember falling, right? Yeah, weird. But you kind of do, because your name's Raka. So you remember some element of the dream, but so does Reki. I wonder who really is sinbound here. That's interesting. Either way, Reki doesn't believe it's Raka. Your feathers were a beautiful charcoal grey. I said even then that you were a good Haibane. And this is where Reki gets a little bit personal. The colour of the wings that sprouted from my back were black and spotted. I was sinbound from the beginning. It's almost like it was my lot in life, right? And yeah, because of those black feathers back in the day, everybody was afraid of me. I was an outcast, right? The only one that was nice to me was Kuramori. And yeah, here's Kuramori in this picture. Very beautiful picture here. Looks like a nice girl. I wish we got to meet her before she went away. She was a mother to the kids and a good mentor for me and Nemu. She went to the Heart of Woods to collect medicine for me. She's the one that prepared the guest room the way it is right now. She's the progenitor of all of this stuff, right? If we look here, here's a very young Nemu. Here's a very, very young Reki as well. Look at her wings there, kind of transitioning from that kind of black to that white now as well. I'm imagining, yeah, Kuramori went to the forest, right? And got you the dye. That's why you're using the dye now as well, and potentially, again, was lost in the process. She was the only one that wasn't afraid of me. She wanted to be with me, not out of pity. There for me. I really liked her. She sounds like a good person, but you're also a good Haibane, Reki. I can attest to that. You're a good person, right? But no, I'm a sinner. We see the shadow here on the ground, the shadow that she thinks she's still leaving on the whole situation, right? Again, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. There. Again, just a little shadow there on the floor. And then Kuramori left us 5 years ago. Much like Raka, Reki back in the day didn't know that there was a day of flight, didn't know what that was, so it really felt like Kuramori just left us behind. Again, very similar to what Raka is feeling for Ku in this episode. Again, even though Nemu told me about the day of flight, I still couldn't really understand it, right? I didn't choose to believe it, and again, that sent me down a darker path. Again, it makes it powerful now that Reki is being one of the mechanisms by which we're hoping that Raka gets out of her depression somewhat, at least a little bit. Again, you're doing for another what somebody couldn't do for you back in the day. You're righting a wrong that happened previously in your life. And again, this links into that little backstory we heard in episode 5, the fight between Nemu and Reki, of course, and Reki going down a darker path. Again, I went to a different place, implied to be abandoned factory, but I kept making the same mistakes there as well. This Hyoko guy is being set up, so we'll see what occurred there as well. And again, was eventually caught by the community watch, punished, and now I'm here again. But Raka, you haven't done anything to be ashamed of, right? You haven't done anything to be punished by. So this must be some kind of mistake. Again, the darkness on the wings, this must be some kind of mistake, right? That you've done this. No, but this is almost guilt being externalized for what you did to Ku, or what you think you did to Ku, right? That's the thing that I think that I've done that I'm sinful for, right? But instead of focusing on that, we turn back to Reki, right? You really can't remember your dream? Since I come here, I keep having nightmares. I remember the stones, I remember a few things about it, but I can't remember the full thing. But I always wake up scared. So whatever it is, it truly scared me. Again, I really like the paintings in this regard, trying to channel it into that creative medium, but still being able to, or not being able to see anything made out of it. I think that's quite interesting. And I still don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Why are there good Haibane? Why are there cursed Haibane? What is a sin bound? What is going on with my dream? I'm still racked with all these feelings all these years later, you know? And I really like this from the gang as well. So we're out of that scene, Raka all alone, finds these wing covers, and then inside is a note that says that they're sorry. They didn't mean to make her feel like that, and yeah, here's a gift to make it better. I hope you feel like you're loved because of this. Again, I've talked about how maybe hiding the wings under a cover isn't a good idea to get over whatever they represent, but still, it's a gesture, and I think we should appreciate it from that perspective. Until now, I thought this town was a paradise. Yet despite everyone's caring hearts and willingness to do the best for each other, sad things still happen, some suffer from curses given to them. What are the Haibane? And that is our question that leads us out of the episode. Again, as I theorized in the ED of this episode during the reaction, I think this whole experience is going to be the propellant for Raka to start figuring out this entire mystery of what this thing even is. This kind of emotional experience, both hers and Reki's in the past, being the fuel to drive her to learn more. Like, why is this happening? Why is the world this way? Why do people have to go why are we all depressed because of this? I thought this was a paradise. Why is this almost like a prison instead of a paradise? Again, that propellant to learn more. And with that, I think we'll close out the video. Very, very depressing episodes, but nevertheless enjoyable. Really enjoyed my time. Again, obviously I'm not quite as calm as a normal session of Haibane Renmei, I wouldn't say, but still really enjoyable. Still really like the show. Music's really good. They're really ratcheting up the stakes now. And yeah, can't wait for more. Again, as I said at the start of this video, I'm on break next week, so don't expect a video, of course, but I don't know. Expect one the following week, and then yeah, 3 more videos. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 3 more videos, something like that. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Patreon, of course, if you want to be that 1 week ahead. Like the video, subscribe, Discord, and I'm out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye. See you later.